You're listening to a bonus episode of the Apparelist Podcast, where we talk about high-level topics that are relevant to the decorated apparel community. Tune in monthly for regular episodes and enjoy this special edition.
Awesome. Well, we are here at Ink and Drink recording a very special episode of the Apparelist Podcast. I am lucky enough that Ink and Drink is located not very far from my house, so I get to drop in and visit every now and then. And I'm sure they are always rolling their eyes when I say that I'm going to come visit, but here we are. They're very accommodating, and I am here with owner Josh Kais. You may recognize him from some previous content that we've done together. Josh, what's up?
Just let me pull my eyes back to the forward part of my face. No, it's always a pleasure to have you in here and get to chat and talk about the industry. So thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and it's great because we were introduced, like 2 years ago now?
Maybe more than that.
Has it really been that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, time flies, right?
It does. Time is flying. It's like a blink of an eye, but it's been fun to watch Ink and Drink sort of, evolve and come more onto the radar. And Josh, you guys are doing some cool things here, right? I mean, you guys have a very unique business model, I feel like.
It's unique enough that it's the only one of its kind.
Right.
So, yes, it is certainly unique.
I love it. But what I'm really interested in talking about is this Instagram post that caught my eye a little while back.
Huh.
And that is, you had some involvement with a show that our listeners might recognize called Love is Blind. And I have to be honest, I did watch religiously the first couple seasons and I was hooked, and that was my trashy TV. And now I haven't watched the last few seasons for personal reasons, which we will not discuss. But I did see, okay, so very interesting. Love is Blind was involved with you guys. Let's unpack that. Start from square one. What are we even talking about here? How did this get started?
Yeah, they reached out to me. So from my understanding, and don't quote me on this, but my understanding is that Love is Blind / Netflix contracts out to production companies, and this particular production company films like every other season of Love is Blind because they're usually filming 2 at a time. So there's one production company that goes to Minneapolis, right, and Denver, 2 separate production companies. They were being filmed at the same time. So this production company that was out here in filming the Denver season reached out and asked if they could come in and host a portion of a super popular Netflix show that's filming a Denver season that they can't disclose what show it is. So like, duh, okay, Love is Blind wants to come in and film in my studio. Sure. It's maybe the most popular show worldwide on streaming platforms. So why the fuck would I not do that?
Right.
Right? It's almost like you'd be dumb to say no. Mm-hmm. So we went back and forth a little bit just about scheduling and kind of what the plan was for either a group date or a couple date or whatever the case was going to be. And this is all kind of stuff that like jumped pretty quick because production is getting a hold of people like while the couples are out on the honeymoon phase thing, where they're at some beach resort, right?
Are we talking like matter of days or like what?
3 weeks.
Okay.
So they reached out like probably a couple months prior for the first time and said, hey, we're looking at doing this. Would you be open and available to potentially down the road? Mm-hmm. And then it was like 2-3 weeks prior to when they actually came in that they were like, hey, you still on board? We're looking at this date, this date, this date. Are any of those available? Yes, they are. What do you need from us? Are we shutting down the place and doing group date? Or are we doing like just a couple date? Are we open? All that kind of stuff, right? So I'm trying to do my due diligence, ask questions, understand what all is going into this production and this recording. And so that's kind of how it came about. They ended up coming in. This was March of 2024.
Okay. Yeah, that tracks, I guess, given what we understand of producing these shows.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Love is Blind just aired the Denver season beginning of October, and we were on the show but not on the show.
I really want, that's the meat of what I want to get into, but very quickly before we get into it, was this all done via email? Was this phone calls? Like, is there like paper trails behind this kind of stuff? I would imagine they have to, right?
Yeah, so predominantly done through email.
Okay.
I do think that we jumped on the phone just to
Right.
because we were writing novels back and forth. It was like, let's just call and talk through it really quick
Right.
so that we can ask multiple questions and get
Mhm.
information done. So I think that there was, one longer phone call, a bunch of emails, and then
Okay.
if I remember right, the two like production leads came in and did a site visit with us right before as well, just to kind of get scope on where production team was
Yeah.
going to set up, ask questions about drones being up in the sky and all that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the onset of communication and planning.
Oh, so talk to me about this golden chalice, because okay, when I did watch Love is Blind,
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell are there gold cups everywhere? They're even in their quote unquote homes afterward. It's like all anybody drinks out of. What's up with that?
So don't quote me on this one. I think that they have to use the golden chalice. Not that they have to be gold, but they have to use something that you can't see the liquid inside of, because I think technically you can't drink on television. Like if it's a live recorded show, then you can't show consuming alcohol. Like there's some weird thing in TV that with that where like even in commercials,
They're not actually drinking the alcohol. It's just like if you think of a Bud Light commercial, there's not actually
they're
beer.
pouring it, they're cheersing
Right,
it,
but they're
they're
not
never drinking it. So I think because of that they use the
okay.
chalices, because
You can't
see liquid.
Okay, so that's how they circumvent. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe
I think-
speculation.
It's also now become iconic, right? So they can't not use them because of the show and what it is.
It's a talking point now.
It is. Everybody wants golden chalice. I want
Oh my god.
so dumb. This is hot tea, and I don't. Maybe I'll catch flack for it. Maybe that builds drama. Maybe I'll get some attention for it. I don't really care.
Sure.
But their two cups came in bags with their names written on them, unwashed from whatever last use they had,
Unwashed.
grimy
Ew.
as all get out.
Wait, the team sent you guys the cups.
Production
Production-
crew carried their cups in bags with their individual names written on the bag, put them on the bar and said, here's for their drinks. They need to go in these. We were ready. We knew that they were bringing the gold cups in here, but them being unwashed, sealed in a bag.
That's disgusting.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So we took them out and immediately run them through our triple sink multiple times, wash them, clean them, get them, sparkling. And I think one of the questions we get asked the most is, what did they drink when they were here? Disgusting, maybe more so, not actually, but maybe more disgusting than the cups coming in unwashed. One of them, and I can't remember who did what, but one of them got orange juice in a metal cup and had that for their drink. And then the other had soda water. So they didn't actually drink anything.
Okay, well, fine, whatever, yeah.
But orange juice in a metal container? I guess that's what I'm saying.
So I cheat there on.
Yeah.
I'm getting it right now, just
Yeah.
thinking about it.
You're tasting battery acid? Yeah, exactly. So here's the other hot side of this too, is that at the end of this, the couple, is done having their argument in here. They go break outside and production is following them. They do an interview on the steps with her. He's in here against the mural, talking in front of the spaceman on our back wall. And other parts of production crew come over to us and are like, hey, can you dump these in the sink and give us the chalices back so we can pack them up and get out of here? And we're like, yeah, for sure. So we dump them and go over to our triple sink to wash them out. And they're like, no, you don't need to wash them. We can just put them back in the bags.
Ew.
So not only are they telling us, don't worry about washing them, but they're going to go back in the same bag they came in unwashed from the last time. So we refused and said, no, we're washing these. So we washed them before but then they put them back in the same
bags and bags full of fault previous bacteria. Oh, my stomach is heaving thinking about that. And they drink out of those, dude.
Yeah. Could you imagine if we just didn't pay close enough attention to wash those beforehand and orange juice and soda water going into grimy, gross, halfway molded.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm I feel kind of bad for people, I was under the impression that they provided a new cup every time, which to me is very wasteful. Because I was like, how are they getting all these restaurants to give these people gold chalices? And how are they like, because you see them everywhere. So I'm like, are they just going into the restaurant ahead of the date and being like,
Yeah.
we have a sponsor, right? That was immediately in my brain. We have a gold cup sponsor.
Yeah, and I'm sure they had backups because
I would, if I were a contestant, I'd be like, hell no.
new one every time. Like, yeah, put that in my contract. Yeah, it was.
So, and
Grimy.
that's part of your business.
Yeah.
Here is you are ink and drink.
Yeah.
So highest standards of safety, food safety, health safety, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there's a term. There's a standard that needs to be met to make sure people don't get sick.
And that gets put across the bar. Oh, it was. Yeah, it was a little gut wrenching on that one, in like make you want to hurl kind of way.
Yeah. So this experience sounds like it keeps getting better. And
Oh boy, it's the gift that keeps on not giving anything back to me at all. But we do have a design. If anybody is a super fan, come in. We've got a Love is Blind design right now, kind of implementing those gold chalices.
maybe that's what people, if you're a super fan of the show and you love it, you can get your very own unique Love is Blind merch.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Merch.
Call it that.
Let's call it that.
Come in and print your own.
Print your own Love is Blind
Yeah, there we go.
merch.
With the same Mr. and Mrs. that were on their sweatshirts combined into one design with the golden chalices. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
of a fun design. You get your own golden chalices that are clean, not dirty like theirs.
Yeah, just for the record, if you come in here for date night, you are going to get a clean glass. So it's very safe to be here. I personally been here and done it. It is very safe. I did not for one second get a dirty glass. We think I got a dirty glass. So let's clear the air.
Yeah, so gross. So gross.
Imagine there's some paperwork assigned. Like, there's probably paperwork you had to sign.
Oh yeah.
Imagine a lot of it.
Yeah, Netflix has my photo. They've got my signature. They probably have my bank account information. Yeah.
They probably know details about you that you don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yep. But yeah, so non-disclosure agreements for me, my entire staff had to sign and assure rights to all of the artwork that we have in here, that they could use it in footage.
Sure. Yeah.
And then so we were, and we can get into this more too, but we were open to the public during this date that was going on here. And so, in which they told me to be, right? But any people that came in during this date got swept away to the back room and had to sign,
I'm sure,
their iPad and their life away, and also their photos are now in Netflix database.
Were there a fair amount of people that showed up? Some people showed up?
So the way that we timed it out is that we production crew was in here like 3 or 4 hours before we got open.
Yep.
The couple came in an hour before we were open to the public. And then when we opened, kind of had a slow onset. We had, I don't know, maybe 6 people while the couple was here. And then like right after they left and production crew was still in here, we had like a flood of like 10, 15 more people that came in. Wow. So like after the couple's gone and they're not filming anymore, all those, that later draw, didn't need to sign anything. But yeah, I think the 6-ish people that were here while the couple was here and the cameras were out all had to get swept away and sign stuff.
I mean, I didn't watch the episode. So, and I don't, again, like I said, I don't pay attention to it anymore. Were those people pretty cool with like doing that? Were they like, sure? Or did anyone turn around and be like, no, thank you? I don't know if you remember.
No. So, anybody that came in did sign what they needed to sign or what they were supposed to sign. Funny enough, the first people that came in were a mom and daughter. And I think the mom was visiting from out of town to her daughter who moved to Colorado. And I think the mom was like, why am I signing something? Yeah. What's it for? I don't care.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, and more than anything, she wasn't like arguing with them about it. Right. She was just like, why the fuck do you need to sign something? You know? But nobody else.
No one cares.
No.
Yeah. Everybody knows everything about us anyway.
Yeah.
At this stage, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have an iPhone, they know who you are.
Most of us post everything about ourselves anymore too. But then yes, the internet knows all.
Oh man, that's like a whole other slew of questions I just
Oh, I
have
know.
for like Netflix and people like that is like, do you allow us to take selfies and post it, blah, blah, blah. Like I don't even want to go down that road.
Okay.
Back on track.
Yeah.
Okay, so had to sign all these non-disclosure agreements, all that stuff. I saw the Instagram post. What was the date or day or time frame, whatever, that you could start like officially promoting that you got to be a part of the show?
When the show released to the public.
So on like the release date, was it like timed with that or?
Yeah. So the Denver season, I think official air date was October 1st, I want to say.
Okay.
So technically when the season releases, and we could have said something, but we also didn't have information as to whether we were on the show or not.
Oh,
They don't tell you.
They don't tell you anything.
No, they tell you we may or may not use this. And you don't you don't find out until you watch the show.
I guess I'm not that surprised by that.
And find out that you're not on the show.
Okay.
Yay. So we didn't put anything out there right away.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the first, so they release in segments,
Right.
Like the first 6 episodes. At the end of episode 6, they showed a preview for the next release of episodes. And in that preview, you can see the couple in here sitting at the bar top with our like bar stand menu, little placards with our logo on it. You can see them sitting in front of our dryers. Like
they made the preview.
And we're like, they're fucking using it. Let's go. And then at the very beginning of the first episode of the second release portion, the couple that was in here, they're showing sitting at quote unquote home. And the gentleman goes, don't you think it'd be really cool if we engraved sweatshirts together with like Mr. and Mrs.?
I have so much to say about that, but I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
We all?
Oh, so much.
Like, so we see that too, and I'm like, they're definitely using this shit. And then that whole segment goes, we're not in it.
Oh man.
And then there's one more episode to be released, which is the wedding episodes. And we're like, okay, well, like their date didn't really go that well here, and it kind of felt like they were breaking up. So maybe instead of them going to the altar, it shows them coming in here and breaking up. Holy shit.
Even better, maybe?
Even better, maybe. It's like a drama spot for this couple. Like, cool. Nope. The final episode starts with those two, with that couple, those two in their own separate vehicles getting transported to the wedding venue, wearing the hoodies that they printed in here.
Oh, so they skipped the whole thing.
They didn't show them doing the experience of printing their own sweatshirts, or as he said, engraving their own sweatshirts.
I mean, I have roots in the engraving world. I was the editor of Awards and Engraving magazine for, I don't even know how many years. Not quite 10 years.
Okay.
Like 8 years. So I have a very visceral reaction when he says engraving Fletchers. I'm like, pause. Hold on a second, guy. Can we please meet and explain everything that's wrong of what you just said?
Yes.
But it's fine because not everybody has the education of the printing industry like you and I do.
Yeah.
Fine. They get a pass on that.
Want to level up your skills or empower your workforce? Meet iLearning Plus, the online education platform from Printing United Alliance. iLearning Plus helps print professionals sharpen their expertise and grow their careers. Alliance members always save 20% on all courses and certifications. Enroll now at ilearningplus.org.
But that's interesting that they would skip the whole thing. What are your thoughts on that? Like that's fascinating to me because having seen previous episodes, they do show portions of certain couples' dates.
Yeah. And so in this season 2, they showed some snippets of couples going on dates.
Right.
Not a lot of it was necessarily Colorado.
Really?
Which is some of the chatter that's out there about this season is like, what about this was Colorado at all? And like from the characters that they had on to the dates to what they're showcasing about Denver, right? It's Denver season. Some of what was Colorado was like one couple was up snowmobiling in the mountains. Of course, that's not Denver, but it's Colorado.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of the dates that they showed a couple going on was a tarot card reading. I say that more aggressively than I intend to, and not against tarot cards. I'm not in that world. I don't give a shit about tarot cards. Sorry to everybody out there. But that is not unique to
Right.
Colorado or Denver.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it was a couple that was not a tarot couple either. So
Interesting.
that
Like,
is
to
a
pick
bit
that
that you're
over-
gonna show, and instead of like a local business that
Yeah.
started here, is only
Right.
here, and is like showcasing Denver designs left and right, Colorado designs everywhere in our
Right.
studio, and you can only do this here.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Remember at the start of this episode, this podcast episode, where you said this is a one of one?
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Hello.
One of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't you want just,
Well,
but that's interesting, because isn't that the point, is to like showcase some local businesses and to like tell the story of where these people live or are from, or
and
any
to
of
to give a scope of what the dating is like in that
Yes.
city too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think there's been a long trail of dating in Denver as a nightmare,
Yeah. Sure.
which maybe they're not trying to showcase that, which they unfortunately ended up doing, because this is like a record-setting worst
Yeah.
season of Love Is Blind.
Not a single one got married.
No
right? Is that
couple
what I
got
heard?
married. Yep.
Ugh.
So they, I think, did in fact show that Denver is a dumpster fire when it comes to dating, but nonetheless, they also did not show Denver.
Right.
And it,
Like, you could at least try to showcase Denver
yeah,
specifically.
and even snowmobiling, right? I brought that up
Mhm.
briefly. Snowmobiling, you're maybe more likely to see that in the Minneapolis season that just aired at the
Mhm.
beginning of the year. That's literally how they get around in the winter
Right.
out there. So that's
Right.
not like a Colorado uniqueness.
Right. Well, and here's the thing about that too. Like, anyone who lives in Colorado, obviously we have access to the mountains. Obviously we have access to snow. People who live in Denver, like, the access is not as easy as outsiders might think.
Yeah.
Like, to actually go snowmobiling or even skiing or snowboarding in this state, like, it requires a level of effort and money. Right.
Certainly.
So
So how
Something
do
like
we date in
Right.
town, right? At what
Right.
things can we go seek out that are in this area?
and drink.
And can drink, and not
But-
just me, right? Because what I've found out since the show aired, and looking into like how synonymous is my experience to others,
Sure.
not just in Denver but in Minneapolis too. Like, there's so many instances of these couples and these group dates that don't get put into the season. But like, I'm on the hook to not talk about this for over a year and a half, and I put in effort for you guys
did.
to be here, and okay, you could claim that you used us in the show, but you didn't. We were not in there because nobody understands what our experience is,
Right.
and nobody knows that they came in here to make those sweatshirts anyway. So they just all of a sudden have Mr. and Mrs. Sweatshirts that people assume production had
Right.
made in China for them or some shit.
Because it could have been they could talk about it and you just edited it out and no one would ever know the difference.
Right.
Right. And that's also what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, is like, you put in time.
Oh yeah.
You just talked about how you exchanged all these emails, you did phone calls. Like, you have a business to run, right? And so for you to take time and effort out of your day, like, this took effort on your end too. So it must be frustrating.
Yeah, certainly frustrating, and not just those elements that you talked about, but made custom designs for them to have
Sure.
a Mr. and Mrs. to print.
So now your design people are involved.
Correct.
You've involved them, your whole team now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then the day was adjusted, and like
Right.
day of, fine, we have private events that come in at odd hours too, often enough, but like, we were here 4 hours earlier than we're used to, so that production crew for Love Is Blind could be here setting up. And the production staff was amazing. I want to give them all the credit in the world. They were amazing to work with. They were
Yeah.
super great. Of course, they're on tight timelines too. And
Right.
so
Yes.
I don't fault them for the tight timeline. They were
Mhm.
easy to communicate with. It's just so unfortunate that the end of the road is blocked off by a brick wall.
Well, and you think about what it takes to produce video. So you obviously do a lot of video content on your end for
Oh, yeah.
social. I've seen it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you and I have done video together. And there are things that get cut. There just are. Like, and I'm the person who is like, get more, we'll cut. We understand that that's the reality. However, it's interesting when all of it gets cut and they talk about it, but there's zero explanation, no tie.
Yeah.
No.
And so I keep getting asked and people keep commenting on our videos that we put out, which I appreciate, right? It's support from people who follow us. But they're asking us questions of like, well, can you reach out and get the content from them? And I can reach out, but my contact is with Kinetic Content.
Right. Who is then contracted through what? Netflix is what you said.
Correct. And who I'm sure signs over every bit of content that they have to Netflix and doesn't even have the rights to use that for themselves.
You're probably right.
Let alone distribute it either. So who do I get a hold of?
Right. And are they even going to respond to you?
They do not care. If they cared, they would have put us in the credit of like businesses that we visited, right? Or one thing that I had a thought about that I think would actually be really cool is if at the end of every season, they put out an episode of spots that they went to.
That would be so
just a
cool.
full episode, like of I don't care, 30 seconds, a minute and a half per every date spot that they went to, and put their name up, put their socials, like some recognition thing. And would that get as many views as the episodes? No, it wouldn't. But it would be a way to satiate the businesses like me, feeling like they were just fucking strung out, right? Yeah,
you know, it leaves a sour taste, I think, in a lot of people's mouths.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think to your point, there are, we have a lot of our regulars here who, when the season released, and we got to share with them like, hey, you might actually see us on Love is Blind. They were so excited. Right. And then they were let down all the same that we were, because they wanted to see us go big. They wanted to see us showcased and share what we do and share what they have come to know us for with more people, because that's what our business is about. And it's like, we've been stripped of the opportunity to showcase this and bring it to more people.
Yep.
And that sucks.
Wow. I am, again, you always assume with any reality show that there's probably a lot of that going on, but to actually see it unfold before you is probably a very interesting experience, I would imagine,
to say the least. Yeah. And I mean, we're trying to milk it to an extent, right? And try to gain something from it. But I even feel guilty like putting stuff out there, because we've tagged the couple that came in all of our posts, and like, they're not together. Right. And I know that their socials have been fucking just obliterated since, which like, unfortunately, the couple doesn't care about us. They didn't seek us out. Right. They
were just told to come here and do this thing.
Exactly. And yes, it sounds like he had the idea of coming in and doing this anyway, but he didn't. Yeah, he obviously didn't know if that was accessible. He didn't know where to go. He didn't know what it was called. Right. Does he remember the business name? Is he even in Colorado? Is she still in Colorado?
Yeah.
So like, I feel really bad that we've tagged them and everything, but that's like, we're trying to do what we have to do to gain some traction from something that we put a lot of fucking effort into.
Yeah. Well, and that was going to kind of be my next question is, how do you even approach that? Because you're right. You put all this time and effort, you got to at least get something out of it, right? And beyond social tagging, I don't know. What's even the option? What's the avenue?
I mean, try to use hashtags to jump into trends and For You page pushes, and so that we can touch a wider audience a little bit. Sure. Maybe, but we've right now we just put out our Love is Blind design to commemorate them coming in. Sure. And we've tagged Netflix and stuff, and we've tried to get, we've tagged Love is Blind and hoping that they repost something. And we've tried to be positive on social media every time that we post stuff. I'm at the point though, like, they haven't reposted about the couple being in here. And again, like there's degrees of separation. Netflix doesn't know who we are.
No,
Love is Blind
because
doesn't
they're not.
know
Yeah,
who we are because they were not here. They were not part of the planning and the logistics. They didn't watch the couple come in and
Yeah.
do this.
Nick Lachey is not in here
Nick
doing
Lachey,
anything.
like,
Right. So
good.
there's not like that personal tie. So there's no investment on their end, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
From your perspective, did it seem like there was a lot of scripting going on when they came in here? You alluded to it seemed like they were going to break up anyway. I mean, well, what's your observation?
I don't think it's scripted outside of like his car got here 5 minutes before her car got here.
Mm-hmm.
So he came in and you know they got him mic'd up and
Yeah.
did a little interview out on the steps with him before she got here.
Yeah.
And then she got here and they got her mic'd up and they then had them stand down below the steps,
Mm-hmm.
hold hands and walk up
Do
together.
the thing, yeah. Get
So,
the
like,
roll.
Scripted in the sense of like they didn't get here at the same time. They didn't write into this together,
Right.
but they showed up together.
Right.
Okay, yes, of course that's going to be a scripted element, but as far as in here and the interactions that they had, no, not scripted.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that sense, I stand corrected.
And I get where you're coming
But-
from too, right?
yeah.
Because like even in the episode where he says let's go engrave sweatshirts, it feels so out of the blue and so random, and like you watch the way he says it and he's like trying to find his lines in his head that he's supposed to say. So even that, I was watching like, did they like plant this seed in his head and
They-
told him to say it so that they could like make sense of them coming in here?
Right.
I don't know.
Technically,
Weird, you know?
it's a whole other podcast episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to this like Love is Blind discussion. So let's talk about maybe some of the lessons we're taking away from this.
Okay.
If you're cool with that. I mean, I'm curious to hear, like, going out of this, what would you do differently? Because I'm sure if Netflix showed up on your doorstep again, you would slam the door in their face. But like, what are your thoughts that you would share with other people, maybe considering working with influencers or doing sort of something that might give more of like a general population notoriety? What would you say?
Okay. Yeah. I honestly, I feel like I've got multiple answers for you on this.
Let's hear it.
Bear with me. As far as something like this with Netflix goes, if I didn't do this, I would probably be sitting here after the Denver season being like, I should have done it
Yeah.
because they might have used my shit.
Right. Take the opportunity when it presents itself, right? You
Yeah.
never know, I guess. Right.
I also think that I probably would have been a little bit more. I wish I would have had the forethought to think about, if you do or don't use our content, you release rights to that segment
There
for
we go.
us to use on socials, which then they probably would have walked out the door and not used us, not come in, right?
Right.
Because they want to keep what's valuable to them.
Yeah.
But I think that aside, or that tied into the influencer conversation, because I think that's so much a part of our world right now for businesses and I mean businesses have to be their own influencer to a certain degree, right? And then past that, you're trying to connect to influencers who have some sway in the community to use your product or to go into your experience or to eat at your restaurant or whatever the case is. I think that, because we've done that too, right? We've had our share of that being successful and unsuccessful from different influencers at different times.
Mm-hmm.
I think a large part of that is, does this influencer's content match how you create content? Do they present information to their population the way that you try to present information to yours? And I also think that collaboration posts are everything.
Yeah.
Fuck this tagging businesses anymore. If
Agreed.
you work with somebody in some level of professional manner, if you have an influencer who reaches out to you and says, I'll come in and post a reel and a story and a post about your business if you give me a free experience. Like, honestly, cool. Do that. Be selective when you do and don't do it. Do it though. And I also think protect yourself in that, okay, thank you. On each of those, where you can, it's a collaboration, not a tag. In your story, you can't collaborate. So tag us, fine. The reel, collaborate. Post, collaborate. So that we're both pulling our audiences into that feed.
Right.
The hard thing is that social media changes every day.
It does.
Right? What goes well changes every day. Our profile just got taken off of being allowed to use audio. We can't use any trending audio. We have to use unregistered, uncopyrighted audio now. And that switched over 2 weeks ago.
What?
So like all of our like influencer, like trending posts that we've been doing lately, we've put on pause because we're not allowed to put out trending audio. I don't know what changed about it, right? So like we can technically use that trending audio if we embed it into the video instead of overlaying it through Instagram. However, we don't get put into that trending audio feed, right? So if somebody jumps into the audio feed and looks through posts that had that same audio, they're not in there because it's not registering that audio as part of our post. So all of a sudden, we can't do these trends now. So like us being our own influencers, it was a flash in the pan. And it's been really fun. It's been enjoyable, and we're still going to try to figure out how we can engage with our audience in that way. But now all of a sudden we have to use influencers to do anything trending because they can use trending audios. I don't want to bring an influencer in to do the blended song that we did sitting out on the bike in front of our studio. I'm saying this, and most people probably have never watched our videos on our social media page, but go find the one of my employee and I sitting on the bike and doing the two blended audios that's trending music, whatever that.
So freaking
it's
funny.
So funny.
I loved that, by the way.
It has nothing to do with our business, but it has everything to do with our personalities, and that's what we want to showcase to people. We are goofballs. We want to hang out. We want to sing songs randomly in here when customers are bopping to the music.
Yeah.
That is the experience that you're coming in for, is us being humans.
Right.
With you.
Right. And we are going to give you that human experiential thing when you show up here. Like, that's what you're going to get when you show up. You're not just going to get a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You're going to get this story, this experience with people who give a shit about it.
Yeah.
And about you.
And your tie into this experience.
Right.
Because most people who join us, this is the first time they have ever decorated apparel outside of like you hot glue some shit to your ugly sweater as a kid, right? Your Christmas sweater, you put some tinsel on.
Right.
Most people are doing it for the first time here with us in our studio. And we want to give them a fun, informative and engaging impression of what this industry is.
Right.
And for the sake of not just us giving them a cool experience, them walking away with cool apparel, but so that they have a deeper and better appreciation, understanding for when they order shirts from all the listeners on your guys' site, from the Apparelist and beyond, who are in the apparel decorating industry, who try to inform your customers left and right, and they just don't ever get it because they've never been hands-on.
Right.
We're trying to help y'all out.
I have so much to say to that and unpack there. First off, I've had this conversation with so many people in the last week and a half, probably because Printing United Expo was recently. First of all, let's be clear. An apparel decorator is a skilled tradesman.
Yeah.
This is someone who knows what they're doing. There is a real technique and technical aspect to this industry that goes very unappreciated and unknown. And that's fine. That's to no fault of the consumer. Fine. But what people do need to understand is, yes, this is a skilled craft. Point number 2 I want to pull from what you just said is bringing in an influencer is great and all, but do they actually understand that? Can they tell the story as well as you can? If they're good at what they do, they should be able to tell a good story no matter what they're doing. But like going back to what you were saying is like, if you are going to work with someone like an influencer or bring in some big thing, be part of that collaborative effort, because they will not tell it the way you would tell it and the way that it should be told, right? Like,
yes, and
yeah,
try to be diplomatic because you're right. And I also catch myself diving in way too heavy to industry terms
Sure,
and
fair,
getting
fair,
really
right.
technical and not realizing that I'm over technical and over the heads of people who don't know what the hell
Right.
I'm talking about. So there is a degree of like
Yes.
letting them speak this experience in their voice, because that's going to assimilate better to consumers who have also never
Mhm.
done this before.
Yeah.
But
It goes to that collaboration that you're talking about.
exactly. And you know, I think in the collaborative side of this, it's even going back to a couple that came in from Love is Blind. I can share insight that, hey, this is actually printing, not engraving.
Mhm.
And that's not a bad thing that he said engraving necessarily. It's just and people call this paint, right? They say paint all
Yes.
the time. And so I'm gently corrective to that. And like, oh, it's actually ink. It's different than paint. You know, yes, it's a decorative thing, but it's ink, not
Right.
paint. So things like that yeah, we're trying to be informative, but as far as the experience goes, like I want an influencer to kind of have their voice so that it doesn't sound scripted from them.
Right.
While informing them that like, hey, we're printing today, not engraving. We're using ink, not paint.
Right.
You know, my name is not Ink and Drink for the sake of the rhyme. It's Ink and Drink because it's screen printing ink and it's booze and, you know, fun stuff.
Have a fun time. Right.
Ink is there on purpose. You know, it is screen printing ink. So informing them in that way, collaborating in that way, but letting them have the voice to share to people who are more in their same mindset,
Yeah.
I do think is powerful.
Right.
Yeah. Fair thought. And you're right. And the diplomatic
and,
right?
I like and. It's a great word.
Yeah. Remind me point one. You gave point one and point two, because I had a thought on point one that you were mentioning.
We're skilled. You guys are skilled tradesmen.
Means the world. That's a crazy thing too, though, is like it can be a hobby.
Oh, totally.
But it's still a hobby that takes knowledge and effort to be good at. You can be really bad at it pretty easily, you know. But I also think, and like you said, it's not to the fault of the consumer, but what's been fed to the public. T-shirt time from Jersey Shore. You hit print on a computer because all you do is hit print, or you hit order on a website that does fulfillment for you. And then like realistically, you kind of can anymore like hit print on a computer and it ends up on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not skilled. Even Cricuts at home, like there are people who are really good at using the Cricut. There are people who really do take in that effort and put it back into the product they put out with Cricuts. I'm not taking away from Cricut users, from the at-home person who is doing this out of their house with Cricuts and heat clamps and all that. But that has made being in this industry way more accessible. Yeah. Which makes being bad and a lack of information out there way more as well.
Right.
Misinforms people of what it takes to be a skilled laborer in this industry.
And I agree. And yes, to clarify, not knocking on that. There's a whole market for that. And
Absolutely. They crush it. They crush it.
Like hats off.
Yeah.
Way to go. It's just an interesting, I don't want to say lines in the sand. And this is probably for a whole other podcast.
Sure.
Because we could talk forever and ever. Yeah. Everybody listening doesn't know this, but Josh and I had a whole conversation about the sweatshirt I'm wearing today, which is an embroidered, very vintage, very cool sweatshirt that clearly took time from somebody who knew what they were doing. Right. And so there's a whole, we could talk about that forever and ever. But I think to what you're saying is like, hey, just know what you bring to the table. Maybe talk about it. Let's maybe educate people to a level of
Well, and I think too,
what
like
we
for
do.
consumers
doing.
to not be assumptive to presumptive. Words are hard. Anyway, for consumers to not be presumptive of knowing what it takes to produce all these things, right? Whoever is listening to this, think about your own personal job, and all the minutia that goes into your personal job that you just don't have time to explain to somebody who doesn't do your job,
Right.
who on the base level of what you do can simplify your work down to like meager nothingness. And so all you do is just write emails all day. That's pretty easy. No, you do a lot more than that. So do we.
Right.
There's so many levels to this industry. Even what we do in here is simple compared to this industry.
Sure.
There is still a lot of information that we need to apply to what we're doing to simply do things well.
Right.
Because you can do simple and you can do it poorly, and you can do simple and you can do it well.
Yeah.
It's a matter of care, and it's a matter of attention to detail. And we do have that attention to detail. We do care. We want to share that information with people if they're willing to listen. And if people aren't, that's okay. But we still need to be able to put out a high quality product without them knowing or needing to know the back end that goes into it. It's a balance, right? Of sharing pertinent information to each person when pertinent is different from person to person.
That's so well said. Pertinent is different from person to person. Yeah. Love that. All right. So circling back for all you listening, the Love is Blind shirt was not some cheap hoodie knockoff from overseas. It was designed, produced, thought out, planned, printed at Ink and Drink.
Yep.
By a team of people who knows what they're doing, who probably produced a pretty nice hoodie that's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And not have a design that just washes off much as the two couples might want it. Oh man, I don't even want to think what they did with those hoodies. I'm going to pretend. I'm not going to think about it.
I know.
Fine. Please don't throw it in the trash. If you're listening, the couples who are in here, please, for the love of God, do not throw it in the trash. You will give me a heart attack.
Bring it back in. We'll get you a replacement hoodie, and I'll keep that one.
Right. We'll do something. We'll do something a little bit smarter with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's really interesting, and I feel like we could go on and on about this, Josh. But overall, lessons learned. Are you glad you took advantage of the opportunity?
I mean, there's still a yes and no to that.
Maybe glad's not the right word.
I think, like I said before, I couldn't not do it for the potential of what could come out of that.
Right.
Obviously, the result of it is not what we hoped for. So in that regard, I'm pretty pissed off and frustrated with having gone through everything and putting in all the effort. Yeah. But that's also like putting out a new class that flops. Sure. Right? We put out a creative class that just does not hit. It's maybe a little bit different than that, but like trying to have that same mentality of like we tried something new and that something new didn't work.
Right. It's that business mentality that you do have to take risks sometimes.
Yeah.
Hoping that it will pay off in a business sense.
Exactly.
Not every decision is going to.
Yeah.
Right. Onward and upward. Here we go.
Doing our best.
How do people get in touch with you, Josh? Listen, let me caveat that question to anyone who's listening all the way through this podcast episode. Please reach out to Josh, but don't be like, what was Love is Blind like? Don't be like me and text him and be like, what was it like?
Yeah.
Don't be like, learn the lesson from Cassie Green. Don't do it.
If you want to ask that question, come in and hang out with us and have a drink while we chat about it.
Love it. Love it.
Obviously, our ideal is that you come in anyway, come and hang out and share this experience with us, and bring a friend, bring a spouse, whatever. Share it with somebody else too. So in person is always great.
Yeah.
And then I think through socials, all of our handles are at Ink and Drink Denver. You can map us and call. You can email us. Whatever's easiest. For whatever's sake that you need to reach out to us for, works just fine for us.
And also too, like I'm sure there's a lot of peers in the industry listening to this who may or may not be in similar situations where, I mean, it's an industry of networking. We learn a lot from each other.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of that